Do you believe the 2027 elections will be competitive in the real sense of the word competitive? 2023 was somewhat competitive, even though so many people were expectedly, because there will be winners and losers in any contest. Would this 2027 election, would it be competitive? Give us your honest, views on the forthcoming election.
Like America would say, we have no way of determining what happened tomorrow, except from what happened yesterday.
Chief, I don't want a political, don't give me a political response. Give me your honest assessment of, what is coming.
If the National Assembly, if they do not do the needful,
Which is?
make sure we have some level of sanity in our electoral system,
Okay.
which involves automated and electronic transfer or transmission of result from the point of cast to point of collision. If we don't have that, they will not have no elections.
I think what they call it is mandatory transmission, real-time transmission.
No, it's in the law, it's mandatory.
Exactly.
It becomes a law. That's why the National Assembly
No,
is
sir, the civil society organizations they are choosing their words carefully, because nowadays we live in a country where judiciary will interpret, or even when they give a verdict, lawyers will say no, this is not what they meant. So they are being specific with the words. But give us your own prognosis. How do you think next year's general elections will play out?
Well, there will be eventually two major political parties. Two major.
Okay.
The APC and the ADC.
Okay.
These are the two major political parties.
What about SDP?
The third one, not SDP. There's no SDP there. They are structurally not very functional. The third one that would have made sense would have been the PDP. But you can see it is sizably factionalized. It doesn't exist anymore. And those who are in charge of it right now, I don't know about tomorrow, are insisting that they are part of APC. So we will have two major political parties. And it depends on who the candidates are. At least we know that APC will be fielding in Bola Tinubu. It's a consensus, more or less.
The coronation.
Yes, well, it's a consensus. I don't want to call it coronation. But we don't know who is coming from ADC.
Assess the potential aspirants in ADC. Assess the strengths and weaknesses.
Well, for now we have three.
Okay.
Peter Obi,
Okay.
Atiku Abubakar, and Rotimi Amechi. If I understand politics very well, I will urge them to go for internal resolution to decide who becomes the
How do you mean? Consensus?
A consensus arrangement, internal resolution.
Why?
But if they choose to do primaries, Atiku will beat everybody, hands down, because of the geopolitical lineages that happens. Atiku will beat them. One, he has a more rich. Two, he comes from a location where
Rich? In what sense? What do you mean, rich?
Well, he's out of three of them, he's the most outstood politician.
Okay, so the richness you mean is types of political dexterity?
In all the zones of the country, north, south, east, west, if you like, include another zone.
He has tentacles.
Atiku has it, and he has the demeanor of leadership. He has the capacity to show that he is loved in all parts of the country. So, Peter Obi will have a great followership amongst the young ones, no doubt about it. Young ones who are insisting that it's time for the youth to join. And Rotimi Amechi, I do not know, he won't even win anything in River State. But who knows what forces he will be bringing. I don't intend to denigrate him, no. But if you see what we have on ground, he will eventually maybe will want to support either Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar. But from percentages, if I'm to, I have not percentages from my own little understanding of what is going to happen. I think we'll take you take a higher percentage in terms of delegates voting.
Okay, so now Atiku versus Bola Tinubu and the square off next year. So how do you read the situation?
I believe APC is making a big mistake by thinking that having a governor will automatically make you have
You mean the governors they campaign to?
the campaign to APC. It's a big mistake. It doesn't work that way. After all, look at what happened the last time. When a governor was supporting, let me be practical.
Yeah.
Somebody like El-Rufai was a very great supporter of Tinubu. In fact, I saw his overwhelming reach insist that it must go to South. But Atiku won in Kaduna State. Look at also what happened in a state like Abia, where the governor had a support for Atiku. Peter Obi won there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the governor may create an overwhelming support. No, it doesn't happen that way. But let me give you information. Tinubu had about 8.7 million votes.
Yes.
5.3 of that 8.7 was from the north. That north is not with him right now. That's the truth. If anybody has to tell himself the truth, that north is not essentially with him. Not mind those governors. The major north is not essentially with him. Not because he has not done any good job, no. But the reforms come with some pain, which our people are not willing to take. Reform comes with pain. He wanted to come with reforms. But reforms is very painful. You can't make omelette without breaking eggs. So you can't even renovate this house without breaking down places.
And temporary inconvenience.
So those inconveniences are people are not willing.
But the pains of the reforms are, universal all over the country. So why would they not?
And let me give you information. We told Tinubu, if you take away subsidy, what it will simply mean is that there will be so much money for developmental activities. What we will urge you to do is not necessarily to send it to local governments and states. If you do, you really end up increasing their propensity to spend lavishly, and also increasing job for EFCC and ICPC and other investigating agencies. That's what you will do. Invest that extra money in the critical areas. There are critical areas will require this country.
Such as
healthcare, very critical, education critical, power. You can't industrialize without power. We said you can't do it. And then the road infrastructure. Hit these areas with these funds. It will trickle down to the people and you create enormous infrastructure for developmental activity. Giving it to the governors. Look at the ones you have given them. What have they done with it? It will increase the number of vehicles that are going to be in their convoy, increase their spending habits, and then drive up the demand for foreign exchange because they have sizable appetite for foreign trips. At no given time do you have half of our governors in the country. No given time. At no given time, not only governors, even the ministers. At no given time do you have 50% of the ministers in this country. What are they looking for abroad? And when you go abroad for all these trips, you come back, you still behave like you never knew things were working properly in those countries that you have got to. Go to most countries, you won't see policemen on the streets. When you put in the right people, pay proper wages, provide the tools, the police work will go.
You've gone back to police. Let's stay on politics. You alluded to it. The governors, they campaign en masse. As of today, I think there are about 31 governors now in the APC camp.
There were 28 for Jonathan. He never won.
So, but the question is that the ease with which these governors moved, governors from different persuasions, the one that actually stunned quite a lot of Nigerians that most Nigerians can't actually comprehend is the Kwankwaso governor, Abba Yusuf of Kano. So the issue of ideology, political ideology, does it even exist in our environment at all?
We were told that there were several motivations for them. We don't know if it is true. We cannot verify most of them, both from financial motivations and from guarantees of
Second
tenure. This is what we have been told. Most of them have not been investigated to find out if it's true or not. But we want to know, actually, if these allegations of motivations are not there, what is moving you? There must be something moving them. We don't know what's moving them, but eventually we'll find out.
You know why this question is
as we go ahead.
Why this question is important, Chief? The incumbent president was a governor.
Yes.
And while everybody was moving,
he remained where he was.
He remained where he was.
And built his empire.
So I asked you once again, Chief, what is responsible for the lack of not just ideology now, even spine? And by spine, I mean, you know, the intestinal fortitude of a man, a god. Because when someone has attained the stature of a state governor, you must be able to, you must have certain qualities, leadership, quality, to make you say no, like the governor of Abia State has done. Sheyi Makinde, your state has done. Against all entreaties, blackmail, subtle blackmail and threats, they've refused to budge. Why these other governors, why have they, chosen to toe the path they've chosen?
You have not answered this. Were they elected based on their abilities to deliver? Was there proper scrutiny as to their characters and characteristics? Their manners and mannerisms, their behaviors and behavioral tendencies? Were there any such scrutinies as to their ideas and ideals? They were not there. They went in there through godfatherism. They went in there through one means or the other. That's a saying in my place. A man who lacks integrity, you can't make him king because his judgment will be poor. That is a very strong saying in my place. So the quality of character of those who were elected as governors, were they on their merits or were they pushed in there through one means or the other? That is the problem.
Switching gears, the Senate, even though it's just the Senate, not the House, we're still waiting for their decision. The Senate's refusal to incorporate in the amendment of the Electoral Act 2022 mandatory transmission of real-time election results. They said no, and then there's been a lot of hue and cry and all of that. This refusal, is it, in your view, is it an attempt to, in advance, manipulate the 2027 elections? What do you think?
I don't know what it is, but I know it's wrong. It does not give us the yardstick to properly measure the proper way to go in terms of decency, credibility, integrity of electioneering in the country. Whatever they have done there is wrong. And I'm very surprised also that the committee that sat and harmonized the positions of various views, that's not what they recommended. They recommended something else, and our people are doing something else. That is very sad.
The current administration of President Bola Tinubu, they tout a lot of data that they've brought down inflation from 37 or 34 to currently, I think, 15% or thereabouts, or insecurity has abated. That's what they claim, that because they procured a lot of hardware, and all of that. And they've changed service chiefs, and all of that. I mean, so many accomplishments. Oh, the president has traveled everywhere, and that he has gotten promises, of so much, foreign investments or foreign direct investment and all of that. In your opinion, Chief, as a good, a sound public affairs analyst, does this administration deserve a renewal of their mandate in 2027? Honest assessment.
They have done very well in some areas.
Such as?
In the area of reforms.
Yeah, but you said the reforms brought pains.
Of course, it ought to bring pains,
yes,
because they didn't put what they need to put together in the first instance. We need reforms. We were one of those who were saying that, listen, this fraud in the oil sector should not continue. We were one of those who insisted publicly that subsidy regime was a fraudulent regime. We insisted on that. So he came and said, it is gone. He did not do it. He didn't do it right. But he did it. So now what we need to do is to make sure it is done right. If we have a father who has so much money in his account, or who has a very high position, or whose balance sheet shows huge positive record and his children are hungry, is he a good father? Wale, is he a good father?
Yeah, definitely.
He can't be a good father.
Definitely.
There's hunger in the land.
Yeah.
There's massive hunger in the land.
Sir, the multilateral agencies, World Bank, IMF, they are saying 10 million Nigerians were added into, the poverty mix, maybe this year, or has the government deserved, the president, does it deserve a renewal of his mandate?
Let me give you a direct answer. Vis-a-vis what has happened in the distribution of wealth.
Yes.
My own local government, Atiku local government, used to get between 20, 30 million naira monthly.
Monthly.
Today, they get about 500 million.
From 20 million to 500 million?
Yes.
Monthly?
Monthly. It is unbelievable. 500 million. And in fact, some years ago when I was the Secretary General of ALGON, the Association of Local Governments, there were some states, there were some local governments that were getting zero allocation because of indebtedness. Today, we're having 400, 500 million.
But the question is it getting...
What is happening to my local government? Is there any culvert being constructed by the local government, not the state?
Yes.
The state is doing some work,
yes,
but the local government. And let me also give information. My own state, Abia State, have not paid pensioners their gratuities.
That's Alex.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Alex Oti is being touted as one of the poster child of.
Now, if you look at what
governance.
happened, if you look at what happened before he came in, he's doing massively well.
Compared to his predecessors.
Yes, he's doing massively well. He has more money and he's doing more work.
That you can see.
You can see. But is it equidistant to the money he has gotten? What he has done, is it equidistant?
Is
it commensurate to what he has gotten? Has he been able to also give local government their funds?
So you mean Governor Alex is also not giving local government their...
Absolutely not.
You are saying this on authority?
Of course, yes. Absolutely not. I'm telling you. We have 17 local governments. And I had one-on-one chat with 12 of them. They're not getting their money.
You should know.
And also, let me give you information. Abia is not implementing 70,000 naira minimum wage fully. There are so many. We saw them the other day in the healthcare sector, the Abia State Health Management Board, in some areas, and some local governments. The one that bothered me so much was the cleaners. Abia today, Aba and Omahia are cleaner than it used to be. So one would expect that those who are doing the job should at least be paid well. One of them was complaining the average they receive is 23,000 a month. 23,000 naira. And their supervisors, 47,000. Go and verify. When I heard it, I said, no, it's not true. Let me find out. I went right to the people who are doing themselves one-on-one to find out from them. And they say, they gave their picture, say, go and ask questions. So now, if there was massive increment to revenues coming to states and local governments, and people are still earning 23,000, earning 47,000, is that number? Even that 70,000 is too small, given the volume of money you are receiving right now. That's what I'm saying, that the federal government, Tinubu made a very big mistake by not challenging this excess money to the national requirement, the infrastructure that had to make us come out from the woods, giving it to state governments and who are in control of the revenues of local governments is a very big mistake of Tinubu.
Now, there was a video circulating in the last few days of your friend, a serving senator, former governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, in a private jet, in the foot of a South African lady. What's your take on this?
I saw his response.
Yes.
He responded.
Yes.
And said that it was taken out of context.
Okay.
He said that the lady had foot. The one I read.
Yes.
He had foot issues. And as a good companion, they decided to do. And eventually, that the hostess came and took over and did the job better. In fact, the little one he did, was taken out of context, that the actual job was done by the waitress who came to do the job. But the thing is this, that shows you the quality of those we have making our laws. Even in our culture and tradition, how can you start going to a woman's leg in public? You know, it's wrong. If it's your wife and you are in your bedroom, you can do that. Even your wife, you can't even do it in public setting as Africans. The leg of a woman. That shows your level. Your thinking is quite substandard. Your behavior is unbecoming of a matured African man. It's not talk of a distinguished senator of the Federal Republic, who was a former governor of a state. It belittles those two offices. I wish he didn't do that.